Hey guys, I wanted to share the process of how I made my daughter's Pringles cup for her second birthday. Her theme this year was a duck theme because she loves ducks. I wanted some chips, so I ate one Pringle can before I began. This is my first time doing a Pringles cup from scratch. I started off by removing the lid and measuring out my Pringles cup because Google wasn't much help and there are different sized Pringle cups. I believe you can buy the measurements on Etsy too, where people measure it for you and you can get the Canva template, but I'm going to be using the free route where I do everything myself. The measurement came out to be 3 inches in width. I bought my Pringles cans from Costco. It comes in 3 different flavors. The lid were also 3 inches as well. I just used regular printer paper and measured out how long the Pringle cup was and marked it down to cut. Then I realized I should have used the longer side of the paper, so I had to use a new piece of paper and redo it. The paper overlapped, so I just used a pencil and marked where it overlapped and cut it there. Some people like having a little overlap on their paper, but I didn't care so much because it's just going to be thrown away after the kids use it anyways. I measured the paper again and it came out to be 9 1/4 in length, which I like to go to Google and convert it to decimal for the Cricut, which comes out to be 9.25. So I wrote it down on paper so I don't forget or if I need it for future reference. Then I went to Canva to create my design. I used the custom size of the paper measured, which was 9.25 by 3 inches. My daughter saw the papers that I wasn't using, so she put them to use by coloring them. I didn't show how I designed my duck template, but I just went to Google to download free SVGs and put them together for her Facebook invite for my family and friends. So this is me just copying and pasting it onto the Pringles cup measurement to readjust it to my liking. You can design however you like. For the birthday nutrition facts and barcode, I bought it off Etsy from a bundle, where she gives you measurements for her party favorite bundle to use on Canva. The barcode was sideways on the Pringles cup, so I tried to copy that. The whole time I was designing the Pringles cup, I was very indecisive of how I wanted it to look. I knew I was going to have a duck sitting on top already, so I removed the duck image. Then I wanted the number 2 somewhere. I really liked the pop-up effect, so I erased everything and just kept the nutrition facts and barcode. For the duck sitting on top, I didn't want to pay for the duck SVG, so I just googled duck coloring book and looked for one I liked. The one I liked had a watermark, so I had to screenshot it and went to Design Space to redraw it. I'm not using the artist's duck to resell for personal gain. I'm just using it for my daughter's birthday, so it shouldn't be a big deal. And of course, my daughter loves to draw, so she wanted to color the duck as well. Once I was done tracing the duck, I removed the background and saved it as a PNG. Then I went to Cricut to upload it to use. Since I already removed the back, I didn't need to do anything to it, so I just continued and made it. It's been a while since I opened Design Space, and since then they updated it. So when I clicked contour, I was a bit confused at first. I just clicked and played around with the contour tool and adjusted each layer to how I wanted it by color. I didn't show it, but later I attached a black square shape to the bottom of the black silhouette of the duck so that the duck can sit up on the top of the can. Excuse the pile of mess in the bassinet. I just threw all my supplies in there since Stella outgrew it and we had nowhere to put it. My workplace is literally everywhere. I'm in the living room sometimes, this time I'm in the kitchen table, and sometimes I'm in the green room, which is that room you see over in the back. We call it the green room because the floor tiles are green from the last homeowners. I have a love and hate relationship with this rolling drawer from Michaels because it keeps tipping to one side, but later my dad fixed it somehow. My daughter likes taking everything out of my drawers, so I learned to be unbothered by her taking everything out as long as she's not crying or bothering me. Fun fact, but I am currently 6 months pregnant with another baby girl on the way. You can't tell because of my sweater. Anyways, back to the Pringles cup. I have the Canva app on my iPad, so I downloaded the Pringles cup design I made and uploaded it to Design Space. I only use my iPad for my Cricut projects. I adjusted the Pringles design to the size it needed to be when cut out, then I just used the print and cut feature. Stella was trying to stack them on top of the tape, but it kept falling down because they wouldn't balance well. I printed out one sheet to make sure it came out right before I printed the rest of them, just in case I didn't like the color or the print didn't print out right for some reason. Here I am testing to see if it cuts right. It did cut out right, but one of them got stuck on the paper because there was some leftover paper that got dragged a bit on the blade. I used the Scotch dotted double-sided tape to tape the paper down. Some people like to use quality paper, but I'm just using regular printer paper because I'm cheap, and again it's for the kids and they're most likely going to throw it away after they're done anyways. This took a while to cut one by one and my back was starting to give in. There was a couple that didn't cut all the way because there were some papers stuck on the blade, so always check your blade. I just used my Cricut paper cutter to trim it off. Once I was done printing and cutting them out, I moved to the living room to add the labels onto them. The Costco Pringle cans come in the 36 pack, which was 12 per 3 flavors, and I had an extra 12 pack from the last week because my family wanted to eat them early, so I went to go buy another pack. I decided to just do 20 Pringles cut because I estimated about 15 to 17 kids coming, but only about 10 showed up. At first I was thinking about mix matching the Pringles, then I decided to just use 10 of each of the original and the cheddar Pringle cans. I put on the first label and ran out of tape already, because I used the same tape for her last birthday projects. So I just opened all the lids and flipped the tabs up and tucked them under the lid for now, and waited for my husband to come home to buy more double-sided tape since I have no car. This is how I measure most of the time. I just use the Cricut mat and measure this way because it's easier. So the Pringles cup is definitely 3x3 as you can see. So I just cut out a 3x3 circle, which I didn't show the process, but you get the idea. I get all my cardstock paper from Michael's. This blue is actually a texture cardstock, so I wanted the texture part to be up. I always like to save all my scraps if I can. So since I already cut out 18 circles, I just needed 2 more and didn't want to waste another 12 by 12. So I just used the 8.5 by 11 cardstock to cut out the last 2 circles. I was trying to figure out what color border I was going to put around the cup. So before I proceeded, I used my scrap cardstock to cut out what color duck I wanted and to see how it was going to turn out. It was a decision between a regular yellow duck or a shiny gold duck. I didn't have any orange cardstock for the beak of the yellow duck, so I just used my shiny rose gold cardstock for both the beaks. Here's how they look all cut out. I folded the bottom of the square part so that it would make the duck look like it was sitting up. To get that 2D pop-up look on the duck, I bought these double-sided tapes from the Dollar Tree. Once I was finished making them both, I went to my husband and asked for his opinion on which duck I should use, and he chose the yellow duck, which I did agree with him because I was already using a lot of the shiny cardstock for the Pringles cup. The size of the ornament I used is the 3-inch half dome I bought off Amazon. I wanted to test and see how the first Pringle cup was going to look. I was planning to just tape the black tab on the top part of the circle pond, but I decided to hide the black tab under, so I used the X-Acto knife and cut a slit down the middle. This did cut my table a bit. Then I just taped the black tab in place at the bottom. Here's how it looks like with the dome on. I personally love it already. And this is how it's gonna look like with the yellow duck. Now I'm just going to be cutting the rest of the 19 ducklings and putting the Pringles cup together. I switched to my craft table in the green room. This is where I do all my arts and craft. I couldn't find the same scotch tape I bought before, so I just bought the regular double-sided tape, which in my opinion it's easier to just stick on. Now it's time to put all the Pringle cups together. tried to use double-sided tape to tape the duck and pond down, but the lid caves in a bit, so it didn't sit right when I pressed it down. So I tried to put the duck into the dome first and hot glue around the dome, then put the Pringles cup on top with more hot glue on the sides, since there were still open gaps from the dome sitting on top of the lid. Then I decided it would be easier if I just hot glue all the ducks onto the lid first before applying the domes. For this one, it spilled everywhere because I thought I had it closed all the way, but there was a slight gap opened in the back. My daughter got bored being with her dad in the room, so she came to see what I was doing. To cover up the hot glue around the dome, I measured out about 1 centimeter for the top and bottom to cut out, so this is how it will look. I just used my ruler to mark all the 1 centimeters in place, then used my Cricut paper slicer to cut out all the strips. Then I just used hot glue to apply it to the Pringles cup. For some reason, it took a couple tries to get the strip to stick because the hot glue kept drying so fast, but I eventually got it to stick. Here's how my first one turned out. I regret adding the strip to the front of the duck instead of the back first. So this is the only one that looks like this. The rest I glued them starting from the back of the duck. I only had 10 domes, which is 5 ornaments, and I thought I didn't have any more, so I bought some more online. Then later I found my other domes in the house, which I knew I should have looked before I made the purchase. So this is me applying all the ducks to the lids before I found the domes, expecting to wait for the ones to come in through the mail in a couple days. For Stella's name and the number 2, I used holographic cardstock and I wanted the 2D look, so I made an offset on both of them, so when her name was cutting out, the font was thinner than I expected. So I just decided to use glue to apply the name onto the back offset and use double-sided tape on the back for it to pop up. While for the number 2, I used the foam tape for both the top and back of the 2 so it pops out twice. So this is how it will look like when I put it together. My daughter got bored being with my husband again, so she came to join me and took over my iPad when I was watching my movie. So she just sat next to me and watched her show while I worked. Her dad gave her some bananas, so she left me for some more bananas. Here are the finished Pringle cups and the ones I was expecting to wait for the domes to come in the mail to continue. She brought her dog to come join us. She loves dogs and always gives them kisses. We don't own a dog, but when we visit our family and friends who do have one, she's always overly excited to be around them. I thought I was done here, so I was cleaning up my mess and taking her to bed since it was super late. Later, I did a double check and found my other domes, so I came back and continued to finish the rest of them before going to bed. I forgot to add the bottom border for this one, but I added it later on. This is how I set up her dessert table. I'll have another video of how I put everything together. And that's all for the video. Thank you for watching if you made it this far, and I hope it inspires you to make your own as well. It's very time consuming, but definitely worth it. The kids ate all their Pringles inside and even took their empty cans home so they can put stuff in it.